Hi everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining me for the conclusion of my first series, 10 Things I Wish I Had Known Before Caregiving. And the 10th thing is that caregiving doesn't last forever. You know, looking back on my caregiving days, it almost feels like it was another lifetime. You know, the challenges and responsibilities are behind me now, and yet there have been so many changes, specifically within myself. You know, there are no words when I realized that my caregiving was not headed toward healing, and that physical relief from my grandmother equaled physical relief for me, and understanding at the same time that relief for her equaled so much loss for me. You know, that was a huge conflict, and it was a terrible place to be. I remember tough days when the pain of watching my grandmother's decline felt as if it would last forever. Other days when I realized that it could not. And then there were dark days, really dark days, like when I had to make end-of-life decisions for both my mom and my grandmother. That truly felt too much for me to handle. You know, I wish I could have understood the finality of it all going through it, but really, there was no way to. When you find yourself in the midst of the final days, it's truly about doing the next best thing for your loved one and for your own survival, you know. And yet, through it all, I learned that life can be tough sometimes, and yet so can I. You know, I mean, and that's important to know, because when you're in the midst of the caregiving, or, you know, knowing that you're coming to the end of the line, and, you know, that, for lack of a better term, it's hard, no matter what you do. I'd like to say I've come full circle. And yet, I'm striving to embrace new ways of being in the world without them, without their physical presence. And that is challenging sometimes, but, you know, it's the path I'm on, and I intend to travel as lightly as possible. In the end, it was, and still is, all about love. Caregiving for another doesn't last forever. And when it ends, self-care becomes paramount. And with that said, I invite you to join me next series, as I share a few pivotal tips that helped me on my self-care giving journey. And as always, guys, I encourage you to live to life, no matter where you are on your journey, whether you're actively caregiving or currently embracing self-caregiving. I believe it all comes from love. So with that said, stay strong, and until next time,